Hello, everyone, and welcome to this fabulous baraza that we're doing for the Black Blockchain Summit 2023. And I am super excited, just super excited today because we have an absolutely fantastic panel today, and we are going to be discussing the importance or the significance of community involvement in DAOs, which stands for Decentralized Autonomous Organization, and DeFi, Decentralized Finance. And so what I'm going to do today is ask you to sit back, buckle up your seatbelt, and enjoy this panel as we discover why it's significant for the community to be involved in both of those things, as well as find out what projects these fabulous, illustrious individuals have working and what they're working on. And so we're looking forward to hearing from them. So I'm going to ask these fabulous gentlemen to really just introduce themselves as we move forward. And we are going to start with Femi. Femi, tell us a little bit about yourself, and we'll just sit back and listen.
Thank you very much, Naja Roberts. Thank you to the organizers of this amazing Black Blockchain Summit. My name is Femi Adegulu. I'm the founder and CEO of VChain Academy, and we're a platform that provides quality, accessible, comprehensive blockchain education for people in Africa to get to know about blockchain, get aware of the technology, and be able to start a career in Web3 and also create a niche for themselves in the space. And so far, we have presence in over 10 African countries, Nigeria, Ghana, Gambia, Zambia, South Africa, the likes, Cote d'Ivoire, Mali, and we also trained over hundreds of people in the last couple of months. And yeah, we look forward to having an amazing time here at the summit. Thank you.
Absolutely. And Femi, where are you coming in from today? Where are you chiming in from?
Okay, yeah, I'm in Lagos, Nigeria, West Africa.
All right. Okay. Well, welcome and thank you for joining us. All right, then next up, we would like to have an introduction from Dr. Gibson. Dr. Gibson, take it away.
Hi, everybody. Naja, thank you so much for having me. So proud to be a part of the Black Blockchain Summit. This is my first appearance and attendance to the summit, but extremely excited and looking forward to the event. I'm coming to you from Southern California, the Los Angeles area, specifically Corona, California. The reason that I'm excited about sharing the news about myself and about the projects that I'm working on is just, and generally speaking, just news about blockchain, crypto, community involvement, decentralized autonomous organizations, because I really feel that that's the future. I feel that that's the way that the world is going. Traditional business models have failed to a large degree, and I believe that the nature of a decentralized autonomous organization really speaks to community involvement and really speaks to giving everyone involved a seat at the table. The voice that it allows people really brings the community together and really gets perspectives from the global side of the project or the initiative that the community is trying to bring forth. So really excited about that. I'm working on a couple of really exciting initiatives as well. I'm the Chief Strategy Officer for the Devo protocol. Devo is a group of very talented individuals that's really looking to define the world of philanthropy and volunteering. And we're looking to do that using blockchain technology, smart contracts, and cryptocurrency. So, one of my personal goals is to bring mass adoption to these emerging technologies. My doctoral dissertation was entitled "The Lack of Adoption of Cryptocurrency and Blockchain Technology" by ERP professional services firms. So I've got a personal mission to really just continue spreading the word and spreading education and knowledge, because I believe knowledge is the key to mass adoption. So excited to be a part of this here panel. So thank you again, Naja.
Absolutely. And I heard something that you said. We're going to chime back in on that work, because I have some good information and a good statement that was said by one of our politicians. And we're going to dig deep into that in just a second. But before we do that, can I get Ishan to introduce himself and tell us where he's calling from?
Yeah, so Naja, thank you so much for the introduction, and really honored to be speaking here at the Black Blockchain Conference. One thing, so I'm calling in from Ohio. I am one of the venture partners at Adaverse. So we are a Web3 fund mostly focused on Africa. So these are African entrepreneurs building solutions for Africa. And I think just as a whole, emerging markets showed the most potential for, blockchain technology, where you can actually have instances where you can leapfrog, right? So you can leapfrog and hopefully build solutions using DeFi, DAOs, crypto economic systems that surpass some of the incumbent systems in the West. So very excited.
Absolutely. And thank you very, very much for that. And so I'm going to start with you, Dr. James, because Dr. Gibson, because I heard you say something a moment ago about a paper that you were writing and some information about mass adoption and education that you thought was absolutely the key. And I want to say this. I was given a call about a week and a half ago for some individuals that were on Capitol Hill, and there was a cryptocurrency and blockchain bill that was actually passed, and there were 3 nays on that bill. And one of those nays was Congresswoman Maxine Waters. And when asked why she said nay, she said that her community, her constituents are not interested in any of this technology, and she didn't think it was pertinent to our communities. So that being said, Dr. Gibson, why do you think that it is imperative or important or significant that the communities are involved in DAOs moving forward as well as decentralized finance?
Wow, and I've being from Southern California, I've been a huge fan of Maxine Waters for a number of years, but I vehemently disagree with that statement that she made and why she suggested to go nay. I believe that blockchain and the various emerging technologies are the hope of our community. I believe, again, as I said earlier, I think it, especially when we're talking about DAOs and DeFi, it really gives people control of not only their own information and whatnot, but their financial destinations and whatnot. So again, as far as DAOs are concerned, we really need everybody to recognize the importance of having control and having a voice and using that voice. So I think that's one of the really primary things that the DAOs allows everybody to have a voice and have input into the direction of the initiative that the group is really focused on moving forward towards. So again, I think education is a key because we're oftentimes walking around misinformed, and when we're misinformed, we make decisions, right, that aren't correct because we don't have the correct or the right information at our fingertips or at our disposal to make a more educated and better decision. So again, and that's my personal mission, is to really just bring forth knowledge and just share the knowledge that I've been able to and fortunate enough to gain. But again, I really think it's of critical importance that we this type of information to our communities, both the young and old in our communities, right? So that we can, again, come together and be on a solid foundation of knowing what the right information is out there so that we can make our personal choices as to whether it's for us or not for us individually.
Absolutely. And thank you for that. And so I'm going to direct this question at Femi. And so Femi, as you probably know, and a lot of listeners today will soon know, that the workforce in the world is all pointing at Africa to be the place where all of the young folks are growing up and getting into the workplace and really embracing the new technologies that are at the forefront of everything in the world. Why is it important there in Africa, specifically the regions that you're working in right now, to really have a lot of community involvement to get into decentralized DAOs as well as decentralized finance?
Yeah, you see, first of all, it's really a blessing to have blockchain in Africa because it's really helped for majorly global remittance. You know, it has really helped in people having control over their finances, and it's really helped people to understand that, yeah, blockchain can make the world a better place, you know. And this is why what we do at my own organization is helping people understand the power of community. Without a community, there's no DAO, right? You first need to understand that communities are really what really makes the blockchain ecosystem very strong, right? I belong to a lot of communities. I belong to a lot of DAOs. And first of all, before people actually join a DAO, they need to first understand the reason why the blockchain technology is a very important aspect of humanity and the future of our lives. You know, we get to see a lot of people in Nigeria, like according to current statistics, that we have over 65% of the Nigerian population are less than 25. That's a massive, huge number. And Nigeria has over 220 million people, in it, living in Nigeria. So you see that there's a lot of opportunities for young people to tap into. And that's why what we do, right, we focus on revolutionizing blockchain education in Nigeria by introducing sustainable education, training teachers, training stakeholders, training the schools, and training those who can really, really impact these children from the grassroots, right? Because we really want to encourage Nigerian youths to, have the understanding of the power of community. For example, you want to start a project, maybe you want to launch a token, or maybe you want to start up a blockchain solution, or maybe healthcare or supply chain management, so on, or maybe you want to do something in finance, right? You need to push that project to a community. They are the first people to, first of all, patronize your first clients, your first customers, or be your first users, right? Your first 100 users come from the community. And so we understand these factors. And that's why we have a huge population in Nigeria. And we want to really empower people and let them know that, first of all, blockchain is here to stay. Blockchain is the future. Blockchain is giving you more power as an individual. Blockchain is cutting off more centralization and giving power back to the people, which is decentralized finance. And that is really going to shape the future of the economy of Nigeria and the whole of West Africa and the whole of Africa as well. So for real, we understand that young people really want to come into the space and really understand what blockchain is. A lot of young people really don't know what blockchain is in Nigeria. They've never heard about it before. Some people really don't know about cryptocurrency. But now we're changing the narrative, and gradually we're going to get to that level. But right now, we have really been on that course to make sure that we provide accessible quality blockchain education for people in Africa, in Nigerians especially, so that our young population can get involved in this space and add value to the space that we're in right now. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. And Ishan, I'm going to ask you a little different spin on this question, because we're going to hear about the project that you're actually doing. But I would like for you to touch on what you think the challenges that you see, because you are providing funds for people to actually do the work. What challenges do you see in the community getting involved in DAOs as well as DeFi? What challenges do you see ahead of us?
Yeah, so I can maybe touch on a few aspects of that question. So as as a VC, as an investor, I definitely believe that some of these crypto economic systems, like DAOs, and DeFi and other primitives that are possible through blockchain, they're a little bit of a double-edged sword, right? Where when you have the community involved in decision making for a company, right? Maybe community members are not privy to all the important information to make the right decision, right? So it's hey, if we need to bring on a vendor for KYC or something, right, for our customers, is that something that should go to a community DAO vote? Or should that go to the CTO or the HR, the compliance officer, right? So I think, I think DAOs are the future, but maybe we shouldn't necessarily throw away all the human coordination mechanisms that we've come to today, right? I think there's a happy medium where we kind of take what's worked in the past and then add some of the good elements of DAOs, and then we get to this, that utopia meme, right? And then in the African context, I think that, as Femi pointed out, the country is extremely young, right? And I think, I don't want to sound judgmental here, but I think young folks are more willing to try new things, new technology, rather than individuals who are maybe a little bit older, right? And because of that, I see a lot of potential in new crypto economic systems that give users more agency over the products that they use. And I think that's ultimately the thing. If you look at kind of in the US, there's this, I don't have a TikTok, but there's a trend of quiet quitting, right? And I think the quiet quitting trend comes from, hey, I'm working for this company, but at the end of the day, does the company even care about me? If they fire me, I just lose my job, my agency, my voice. What if there's a better way where incentives were aligned, right? You're working towards like a common goal, and we do that, right? We give people stock options and things like that. But I think with the blockchain and DAOs and governance, there's a new unlock for humanity that we've maybe not touched on. But in the context of Africa, it kind of, we can start from a first principles basis there, and it's a little bit of a clean slate. And if you get it right, I think that's where China and the US can actually look to these systems and say, hey, this is maybe a better way of, human coordination. So I don't know if that answers your question or not.
Absolutely, it did. And it's interesting. You would put China and the United States in the same bucket.
To some degree, yeah.
To some degree, that is definitely spot on. So no, we appreciate that perspective. And so I guess my next lead-in question would be for Dr. Gibson. I would just like to hear, and for all of you, can you please share with us what you're working on and what we can look forward to in the very near future? Just tell us the name of your project, what you're working on, and what you hope to see from that project.
Awesome. Well, in general, I'm working on spreading knowledge. Again, that's my personal mission. I've become a blockchain and emerging technology evangelist. So I'm really just working on spreading knowledge just to the masses in general. But specifically, my team are working on a project. Again, it's the Devo Protocol project. And again, it's the project that's really looking to bring trust and transparency to the world of philanthropy and donating, because I think that's one of the major problems. Right now, philanthropy is a $2.3 trillion industry, but many people that I've spoken with, including myself, I tend to not donate because I just don't trust that the monies that I give are going to reach their intended goals and reach their intended purposes. So what we're doing is we're bringing in blockchain technology to bring that full transparency into the ecosystem. We're also going to use smart contracts. So donations are locked into a smart contract. And at the completion of stated criteria, then the monies are released not only to the organization that's fostering the project, but to the specific individuals that need the money. Like, for example, volunteers will volunteer for a project if they need transportation, food and shelter, housing during the life of the project. Then again, the smart contract will release those monies to the housing provider, to the transportation provider, and so on and so forth. So as a donor, you're able to transparently see exactly where the donations are going and whatnot. So that's, again, bringing trust and transparency into the world of philanthropy and volunteerism. And again, we're using cryptocurrency to reward our volunteers for their volunteering efforts. So again, it's something it's a large undertaking. It's a global project, but we're super excited because we believe that, again, blockchain is the future of the world, just like our other distinguished panelists have been speaking. So wholeheartedly agree with what both gentlemen have spoken on today. But again, that's our project. Look for us. We're the Devo Protocol project. And again, look for me, Dr. James Gibson. I'm out there in the world just, again, shouting out there is the value in these emerging technologies, and we just need to take advantage of it. So,
all right. And do me a favor really quick and spell Devo, because I want to make sure that people are able to reach you.
Devo, it's Devo like the old rock group, DEVO with a V, DEVO, protocol.org.
All right, and thank you very much for that. And next up, we have Femi. Femi, tell us what you're working on and what you hope to accomplish with what your works are.
Oh, thank you very much, Naja. So I'm working on VChain Academy, and we are one of the leading providers of quality, accessible, and comprehensive blockchain education in Africa. We started just 7 months ago in January 2023, and so far we've gathered community size of over 5,000 plus members, and we have presence in over 10 plus African countries like Nigeria, Ghana, Gambia, Zambia, Uganda, Kenya, Botswana, Cote d'Ivoire, Ivory Coast, Mali, Burkina Faso, and the likes. And of course, we train hundreds of people. Now, our mission is to be able to, bring blockchain technology to the Web 2 people, to people who really don't know about blockchain technology, who want to try to, to come into the Web3 space, or, companies who want to integrate blockchain solutions into their processes. These are the people that want to look. Of course, I don't want to forget this very important fact. We want to align with the Nigerian government, to bring in blockchain education to the schools, the high schools, the basic schools, because we want to catch them young. That is our focus. We want to catch them young. We organize quarterly events in Nigeria. We're going to have the last event in October important, we're going to be having some government officials. Like the last one we did in April, we had the Commissioner of Education in Lagos State. That's the top government official. She works with the governor. And she came to see how blockchain is really, really helping the world to be better in terms of transparency and privacy, and also helping for global remittances, storing data, and also payments. So, and for real, you know, most of the capstone projects coming out from Beacon Academy relates to blockchain and, you know, digital land verification, that's real estate, blockchain in healthcare, electronic health records, you know, blockchain in supply chain management. So these are, you know, amazing ideas that can even be investable and also be turned to Web3 companies. So for real, we have, you know, made sure that we're anchored on the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, as the 4, which is quality education. As DeFi talks about gender equality, because we're very big on breaking the gender gap, you know, having more women come into the blockchain space. I know Nigel's really going to like that. And of course, SGA talks about decent work and economic growth, because we want to help people, you know, be knowledgeable in blockchain space and see how they can become, you know, creative and innovators and not just consumers or just being, you know, crypto traders, you know. And last but not the least, which is partnership for the goal. So if you're listening to me right now, you can just Google us, Beacon Academy. We've been nominated on Nodo, one of the arms of Emogo, and I think Isha knows about Nodo as well. We're nominated twice, and I think we're currently second on the leaderboard. And you know, we really want to do more for Africa. So whatever it is, collaborate, which is a very, very key part of what we're doing, and we look forward to seeing you guys come on our platform and, you know, be a part of our community. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. And thank you for that, Femi. And so for those of you listening, it is B chain. So not the whole word blockchain, it's B chain, right?
Academy. Yeah,
Academy. All right. B chain Academy. So thank you for that. And Ishan, really, and I have to say Ishan, please tell us what you're working on and what or who you're funding right now.
Yeah. As mentioned before, I'm one of the venture partners at Adaverse. So Adaverse, it's a $100 million Cardano-focused fund, but mostly focused on Africa, African founders building solutions for Africa. So as of right now, I can just touch on some of the really cool companies in our portfolio. We have a company called Zuma GPT. They're building essentially like a smart contract, like no-code smart contract platform where you can kind of input a prompt and it'll create the smart contract code on your behalf. That's super cool. Afroblocks, so it's a bit like the LinkedIn for Africa, for, you know, freelancers and beyond. We have another company called Sesso Global working on, you know, tokenized registry for the continent. We have other companies working on creating like market intelligence platforms for the country of Africa. So a lot of really cool things. In terms of what we're looking at right now, I can just give you maybe my vantage point as, you know, an investor. Some of the projects that I'm seeing in, you know, Asia and the West, you know, the US, it seems like they're building, it's crypto people building stuff for other crypto people, right? Whereas a lot of the deal flow we're seeing in Africa, it seems like these are African entrepreneurs building, as mentioned before, solutions that solve some of the problems that we're seeing in Africa. And I think that's where I'm seeing a bit of a slowing of funding in the traditional web, maybe the Web3 space, like in, you know, Asia and the US, but in Africa, I'm seeing a lot of interest, and I'm seeing a lot of funds actually want to create like dedicated, you know, Africa only funds, right? So I think there's a lot of potential on the continent. In terms of more recent investments, I think more of the more recent investments were remittance type plays, and more things related to maybe financial infrastructure, those sorts of plays. But I think a lot of the potential and a lot of the 0-to-1 innovations I'm seeing on the African side, as opposed to, you know, in the West.
Absolutely. So, Sean, how would people get in contact with you?
So I'd say reach out to the Adaverse email. I need to I will pull it up and get it to you by the end of this call. But
Oh, absolutely.
there's a if you go to our website, it's called adaverse.co.
And just spell it really quickly, and then we'll have Philip come on really quickly.
Yeah, it's ADAVERSE.co. And then on there, you can apply for funding, and you can, pitch us, and we can go from there.
All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. And Philip, welcome. Can you tell us what you're working on? I know that you are headed right now to the Republic of Crypto. There's a meeting or something that you're running to, but can you share with us what you are doing in the space right now as far as DeFi and DAOs are concerned? All right. Maybe he's already at that meeting. Well, I just want to first and foremost say thank you to each and every one of you for the work that you do, boots on the ground. And I want to thank each and every one of you that are watching today and have chimed in on behalf of the Black Blockchain Summit 2023. Have an incredible rest of your day.